Good morning, YouTube. Today I'm bringing you a battle against Smogon user HikenNoAce. Now, basically, the first thing that I notice when I look at his team is that he's running 4 major threats. One, his Lenders is probably going to be the special attacking version, which can definitely punch holes in my team with Psychic Focus Blast, Hidden Power Ice, and Earth Power. Second, he's got Infernate. Half of my team is weak versus fighting attacks, so that's automatically something I'm going to have to play cautious around. Jellicent and Ferrothorn, I'm definitely not worried about them because my Virizion is a substitute Swords Dance version with Close Combat and Leaf Blade. Can easily take them out and they won't be able to do anything to her. Hydreigon, in my opinion, is the most threatening Pokemon on his team, just for the sole fact that it's most likely going to be Scarfed. And if he's running Flamethrower, Draco Meteor, Focus Blast, and Surf, then he's able to hit all 6 of the Pokemon on my team for super effective damage. So I'm definitely going to have to watch out for the Hydreigon. And like I said in the last video, if the Scizor is the Swords Dancing version, then that's going to give me a lot of trouble from the get-go. So I need to try and prevent his team from getting momentum. He's probably running a U-turn team, you know, maybe his Infernape, Hydreigon, and Scizor are going to be running U-turn to keep momentum up. But I think I'll be able to handle his team as long as I play very defensive. So I believe that he's going to predict me to begin with Tyranitar. But by the way that things look on his team, I'm actually just going to begin with Hippowdon because it's the safest, option to begin with. So the battle begins. And he does indeed begin with Landorus, and I begin with Hippowdon. So this turn I'm thinking that he's going to either use Hidden Power Ice or he's going to U-turn, but he just hard switches into Jellicent. So I'm like, well, maybe he was expecting the Ice Fang, but I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Stealth Rock. Now here I'm predicting him to either hard switch back into Landorus or go for a Scald, Toxic, or Will-O-Wisp. So I'm just going to go ahead and send in my Magnezone. And he does indeed go for the Toxic, so that's great for me. I don't think he's going to risk taunting, even if it does have taunt. So I'm just going to get up a free substitute here. He knows that Jellicent can't do anything to Magnezone, so he sends in Landorus, which is fine. I knew that he'd most likely come in. So since I don't have Flash Cannon, I'm just going to go for the Hidden Power Fire. And since I do see Earth Power, yes, I do indeed know that he's the Sheer Force Life Orb version, so I'm kind of glad to know that. Hidden Power Fire does more damage than I thought. It does about 35% of its health, so I'm actually happy about that. Here, I don't want to stay in because, I feel I need my Magnezone, so I'm going to send in Latias, but he makes an excellent prediction and goes for the HP Ice, which I wasn't too worried about until I saw that it got a crit. So I was like, well, Anna Zabelle isn't doing anything this match because Sandstorm is going to finish her off. So once again, that was an excellent play on his part. Now I'm going to send in Stoutland to try and revenge kill. Knowing that he would most likely send in Jellicent or Ferrothorn, I still went for the return because I didn't want to over-predict, Let's say I go for the Wild Charge and he stays in and I end up, getting one-hit KO'd. Did not want that scenario to occur, and I can easily send Magnezone back in, or so I thought, on his Jellicent. But he goes ahead and makes another great prediction and he goes into Infernape, forcing me out once again. So here I'm thinking I'm in a predicament. I'm thinking that he's about to just start spamming U-turn, knowing that I'm going to send Hippowdon in and then send in his Hydreigon, but I really don't need Hippowdon. From just how the battle's going, I honestly don't really think I need it. So he goes for the close combat, and how much damage this did, pretty much did about 200. I'm thinking that he's going to be Choice Banded, since I don't think that Choice Scarf would do that much damage since I'm running max defense. So he switches out, going into Landorus. I could have Ice Fanged here, but I wasn't really sure what he wanted to do, so I just chose to slack off. Wasn't sure if he maybe had Expert Belt with Hidden Power Ice. So here he goes for the Earth Power, I guess predicting me to switch, or maybe just to get Stab boosted attack. I'm not worried about that because now I'm just going to finish it off with the Ice Fang. So one of the major threats is finally gone. Landorus would have punched major holes in my team, but now he sends in Hydreigon. So unfortunately right now I'm not able to tell if it's scarfed or not, because Hippowdon's slow, and even if it's scarfed it'll still take me out. If it's specs it'll still take me out, so I kind of have to wonder. But at the same time he got a special defense drop, and Virizion has naturally high special bulk, so I'm going to send her in and go for a substitute, thinking that he would send Caesar in, expecting, maybe me to Calm Mind or whatever. So here, you see I do go for the substitute, and this was a questionable move, so I had to ask the guy, and he did think that I was the special attacking variant. This is why he stays in and takes the close combat, and this is also why he goes for the Swords Dance. I was thinking Bullet Punch break this up and force me out, but he was thinking that Focus Blast would hit and he would tank it because, he's specially defensive, Swords Dancing Caesar. But since he basically did the Swords Dance, he's forced to Bullet Punch, and I'm easily able to take him out with close combat. So I was happy about that because Caesar was another major threat. And that crit definitely did not matter. But so far things are looking really good for me. I'm thinking that he's going to send in Hydreigon. If he does, that indicates that it's scarfed. But instead he sends an Infernape, and automatically I'm just thinking try and win the speed tie. So I just go for the close combat, and I do. So another major threat for this team is gone just like that. I was thinking that he might go for Mach Punch, but I don't know, I guess for some reason maybe he thought I would switch, so he figured go for the Flare Blitz or the close combat. Not really sure. But now he does what he should have did last turn. He sends in the Hydreigon, who I'm pretty sure is scarfed. But I just stayed in anyway. And yes, he is scarfed, so he goes for the Fire Blast, which is actually good for me. Because now that I know that he's locked into that Fire Blast, I can easily send in Tyranitar to attempt to set up and punch holes in the remainder of his team. So he's going to withdraw, and of course he goes into Ferrothorn. Here I'm going to set up a Dragon Dance. I probably could have just went straight for the attack, but I was like, well, depending on what he sends in, I kind of just want to see. So Ferrothorn gets caught off guard because this Tyranitar packs Fire Punch. And I was thinking that this would take him out, but he must be running max defense because he survives like a smidget of health. But I get the burn actually, so I was actually pretty happy about that. I was thinking he'd probably Leech Seed most likely, but it didn't really bother me because he's not going to be able to take another hit next turn. So he gets some health back, and of course Leech Seed goes before burn. I go for the Rock Slide just in case he wants to try and outsmart me and go for the switch into Hydreigon. But he stays in knowing that Ferrothorn's useless. So now he sends in Hydreigon. I knew he had Focus Blast, but I was hoping maybe it would miss so my Rock Slide could finish him off. And if it didn't finish him off, at least the Sandstorm would be within that range to take him out. But Focus Blast faints Soft Baked, so I'm like, okay, at least your choice locked. So now I can send in Stoutland, and here I make a pretty good prediction. I know that he's going to send in Jellicent, so I just go straight for the Wild Charge. I'm like, his last hope of winning is with the Hydreigon, so why not go for the Wild Charge? And even if Wild Charge did not faint it, I still had Magnezone ready. So Jellicent faints. It died in vain, technically. He's going to send Hydreigon back in. Now, I wasn't really sure if Wild Charge would take Hydreigon out from this point, so I just wanted to play safe. And I didn't mind Death Foddering the Magnezone because I'll be faster with Sand Rush, and I can just superpower him and finish the match. But his Fire Blast misses. Not that it really mattered. It honestly did not matter. And he goes for the Fire Blast this turn, but due to the fact that Magnezone's just a tank, it actually survives it. And I'm going to go for the Volt Switch, and this is the end of the game because Sandstorm is going to finish him off. So good game. HikenNoAce. For all that you watched, please comment, rate, and subscribe. And this is UnhappyCarousel signing out, and please have a good day.